Hi, it's Juliet. I spent 2 months of my free time painting a custom Disney bag because I decided to handmade a whole collection of mini backpacks. This one was quite an involved process to get through because of the design I invented, but now that it's done, I'm happy to make a video about the process of making it. This bag is going to be about Mike Wazowski and the movie that he is in, Monsters Inc. I'm fond of the fact that this character is supposed to be a sidekick in life, but he builds himself quite the enjoyable and fulfilling life. He is a hard worker, a positive person, and he doesn't get stopped by the fact that he is not naturally the best. And obviously I enjoy the movie that he is in too. I'm going to paint on one of my thrifted bags. In 2024, I had this big idea of creating bags by myself since I was really into Loungefly, but the budget of that collection is higher than what I was willing to spend on it. So at that time, I thrifted about 30 bags, each for very cheap, and now I'm going through them one by one, decorating them. This specific one had a Disney charm on it, which I kept. I had the idea for this bag in 2024, and I made it in July 2025. It's inspired, well, by the credits of the movie, so not really the movie, but to me it represents the movie. Mike will be in the front of the bag, coming out of the door and giving a thumbs up. He will carry a file and have a construction helmet of the company. And there will be one other open door, with a different orientation higher than him, from which lots of paper are gonna fall out. So Mike will be clueless as to what is going to fall on his head in a moment, and just happy and working. For Mike, I use tracing paper because not forcing myself to draw everything from scratch encourages me to create. If it looks good in my eyes, I'm more likely to practice art even more, so I'm allowing myself any form of help I can find to make this process more enjoyable. After painting Mike's silhouette white, I started with the background. All of the doors have different designs, shapes, sizes and orientation. Painting those doors was definitely the biggest step of that project. This footage is already sped up like 20 times and I'm going slow on the video. So yeah, it took me like months to do. I would do it after work, I would do several sessions per day on the weekends, because I was drawing all around the bags and the stripes, so I needed one side to dry to do the other. To not mix up too many colors that I then would have to match, I went color by color. Though at the beginning I was mixing them a lot, like you can see that I'm using green now, and pretty much each door have a different shade of green. The really dark green that I'm using now, I don't really like, so I'm gonna cover it up. But for now, the goal was just to put down any colors. And then when I was done with that step, it was way more obvious to select the doors that I didn't like the color of and repaint those specific ones. Because some of the doors ended up working well with their neighbors, even though by themselves I wouldn't have necessarily liked them. In the same vein, some dynamics of colors wouldn't really work together, beside the fact that I liked each door individually. When I was done with that, I painted the whole background black. I did hesitate to leave it white, but ultimately I wanted it to look like the credit scene from Monsters Inc. Then I did another pass on everything, do a second layers on some doors and change the color of others. The next big step of that bag was to create all of the lines on each door to make them unique and look more like doors. They needed to be as straight as I could make them, because they represent the indent that I often find in doors to make them look more interesting. I appreciate that they have all a different level of visibility, because some lines' color are closer to the door's color than others. I find that this gives a harmonious result where the eye can rest on some doors and be stimulated by others. I was almost done at that point. The final step was to paint Mike himself. I started by drawing him very flat, but then I was like, no, I'm gonna add some shadings and colors. So I did that, but I'm not sure it was the best decision. On one hand, it made the drawing look more put together and finished, but on the other hand, since Mike is a monster, he does look friendly in a cartoony style, but not so much in a more quote-unquote realistic style. His smile took me several tries to get right. First I made his teeth crooked, following the orientation of his smile, which first of all makes no sense at all, but on top of that he looked way too scary. So I urgently wiped it off with a sponge and then I did it again, putting straight teeth so you could see a lot of the gums, and he looked old and a bit dumb. So I removed it again, and then the third time was really a charm because I toned down his crooked smile and removed some of his wrinkles. And he looked fine enough, so I didn't want to touch him anymore. His file was supposed to be a child's file similar to the ones that he carries in the movie, but it was too small, so I just made it white. After that I did his helmet in the most difficult way possible for some reason, because I painted the M negatively. So instead of painting a white background and then a blue M on top, I painted around an imaginary M in white. And then I was done with my new custom Loungefly, which I really like, especially how colorful it is and the fact that it's a unique design. I enjoy the little joke of the paper about to fall on his head, and the look does remind me of the credits, so of the movie as a whole. All of those though took me so long to draw, but I'm really glad I pushed through and took it step by step because I'm quite proud of the result. Bye!